Hello and welcome to Backbenchers podcast, the podcast that covers all things Survivor Canberra. And we have episode 5, and we have a lot to cover because what an episode. But joining me, we have some amazing co-hosts with us. We have Charlene and Riddy. How are you guys doing?
I am so great. Riddy looks like he's confused and lost about where he is. But I'm so happy to be here.
We've lost. Riddy does not want to talk about it. That is okay.
We didn't even have to worry him out. He just bounced himself.
Final 2. Oh no.
That was quicker than I expected. Here we are.
Well, Riddy will rejoin us here. I think he just has to take a call or something here quickly, but we are excited to have you. We're getting the numbers in here, and we have a lot to break down. Episode 5 is really amping up to be, I think, one of the pivotal episodes of the season that's going to set us up going into this merge section that we should hopefully be getting the next couple of episodes, hopefully. So I think we have a lot to break down. Overall, what were your thoughts on the episode? Was it mind-boggling, fun? Like, what would you describe it as?
Oh my God. It was wild. Like, I've used that word so many times. Every time I've spoken to someone about it, I'm like, it was wild. And the editing was like top tier. I actually had to watch it a second time for the purpose of this podcast, because the first time I was just fully hooked. Like, and at 2 different points, I was genuinely screaming. I was literally screaming in my living room because I was just like, what is going on right now? It was so good. I absolutely loved watching it. And yes, I had to watch a second time just to make notes for this because I was just fully in it.
Same. I watched the first time, I listened to it while I drove. So I really got like the auditory, and then I was like, let me pick up on what I missed the second time. And when I tell you, I took notes.
She came with lots of notes. She's made essays on this.
And I'm ready. I'm ready to read some of these gameplay moves. Riddy, what did you think about the episode?
Oh, it was amazing. I think I was in hysterics and then in awe, and then I went, what is going on? And I think there was so much going on. I had to watch it 2 times, 3 times to figure out.
Yes.
All right. But there was so much, and I can't wait to delve into it with you both.
And I know there's so much that was left in the behind the scenes, the cutting room floor, if you will. And I know some of the players say this is so much to impact for them, even just watching. So we'll do our best. We'll try our hardest to get through all of the drama, the fun, the injuries, all of it. There's so much to unpack. But I think like the best stories, we'll start from the beginning. And we'll start in the Grasslands of Gloom. I think we have a really nice segment. I really love this segment with Haley. Haley obviously wins this battle back in to Grasslands of Gloom, so the secondary stage of it. And I just really love hearing her story of how she has to fight through this resilience of this game. But that's nothing compared to the resilience I've had at home. I've had this and that, and just listening to it, I've had worse, she said. And I think she's ready to fight.
I loved it when she was like, this is hard, but yeah, the word she kept using, resilience, being her biggest character strength. I was like, I love this woman, like obsessed with her.
And I just love the marrying of what happens in your personal life and how you bring that into the game. And that, like, everyone comes in with different experiences, different challenges, but how Haley really enunciated what she's been through. I was like, oh, yeah. A few more hours in Grasslands of Gloom, that's going to be a,
Yeah, 5-6 hours, that's nothing compared to what I've gone through. Yeah.
And that's how you have to go through. I think like, in a game like this, even though it's a short couple days, like anything you can do to get your mental like block out of there, I think it's so key. So like being like I can persevere because I know I can, that'll help you within anything. So super good mindset and just a really lovely confessional, I think, of like to humanize the game just a touch.
Oh, totally, totally. Very, very human, very real, and it was like it it touched me in the feels.
It was
Yeah.
good.
It really got me there.
I loved, yeah, I mean, we'll get into more of the episode later, but I just love that this episode literally touched every single type of emotion, you know, like it had
Oh,
all
yeah.
the things. And just starting with this beautiful note was so, so nice. And like just such a like, you know, you get these small glimpses of this like authenticity in Survivor, and to see that in an LRG in a 2-day version is pretty amazing.
Oh, absolutely. And I think like it'll really help move the storyline with Haley here in Grasslands of Gloom because she was bequeathed, which I hate that word, just need to get that on the record. It's such a yucky word. She was bequeathed a double vote legacy, bequeathed. And she thinks Simon gives it to her, which we all know at home the Jasmine did. But so
Yeah.
that's an interesting thing that she has in her pocket now to maybe play if she gets back in. And I'm not sure how she's going to play it, who she would send it to if she doesn't go through. Any thoughts that you guys have about this double vote?
No thoughts about the double vote, but I do find it interesting that Haley's made a couple of, I guess, understandings of what's happened. So she thought Deli voted for her, who, and then she's thought Simon's given her the advantage, but obviously it's come from Jasmine. But I do like that she points out, I hope it wasn't Jasmine because she wouldn't have let us just for hours, just, you know, go through looking, seamlessly trying to find, wandering around aimlessly looking for nothing that was there.
But she did it for the plot. Okay, love that.
And I love that Haley's digging in poo now. Like we've got the placing of poo, now we're digging in poo. The storyline keeps on giving, and I love it.
Oh dear.
From croissants to, kangaroo poo.
Aside of kangaroo poo,
Croissants to kangaroo.
what else will Canberra give to us? Find out. It's so good. Well, Haley's not there for long alone. We get the entry of Rose into the Grasslands of Gloom, and she comes in. I was swap screwed again, and it's kind of sad to see her, but I think she comes in really, really positively. I mean, like this is my experience, and I'm ready to come in and try to see if I can find something that'll help me get back in.
Yeah, I really loved her attitude going in, and especially knowing that she's kind of coming in. Like, I feel like a lot of the returnees, there's this redemption, and I'll talk about it later again, but, they individually had their own kind of version of what redemption looks like to them. And for Rose, it's like trying not to get swap screwed. And it's sometimes like, I find this thing where the more I tell myself not to say a word or not to do a thing, that's like when it'll happen. It's almost like a manifestation. And I just felt so bad for her in this moment where like she's like, oh, I got swap screwed again. But I just really loved seeing how she took it on as well, and how like she was just so accepting of it, and she was able to like still look at everyone else's games and appreciate it. Like she was like, oh, I'm like really proud of like Mushy for like going to the desperation station, grabbing the totem, or like, just like little things like that. And she was just so like frank about it. She's just such, and I've said this so many times, but she's just such a smart person. And to see her like use that strategic survivor mind that she's got and that intelligence, and then to apply it to a social setting has been really nice in this season as well. So I'm really glad to see that like she still gets to flesh that out as well.
Oh, totally. And I think I did like that there's an element of modesty that comes with Rose in how she came back to Grasslands of Gloom, where she's like, "Oh, I appreciated Mushy saw that she was in trouble and she went for the totem," and she's like, "Oh, I probably should have or didn't think about it." But I think there's an element of in this game when you are modest and you appreciate, some moves that may have not gone to plan. I think that's something to be admired.
I'm loving watching that the players are still talking about the alliances and the traders. We haven't even got to that part yet, guys.
No.
Leave the spice for later.
2 traders. Well, I didn't know we were playing traders. I thought he was talking about me for a second. I'm like,
Clearly he's talking about me.
I was like, you 2 are definitely not traders in that mini. My bad.
Yeah, you got the trader.
That's where my brain went.
Dear.
No, but we go back to Grasslands of Gloom, and Rose finds a little note saying that they're going to basically be resetting Grassland of Gloom, and there'll be a chance to get back for a battle back. And there's a quest to try to find a clue. So Haley knows that, oh, I know there's something out there. Nothing has been found. This is good for me. I know it's still there. And Rose talks about how this is a time she's going to search for idols because she never searches for idols in game. She uses that to socialize. I thought that was an interesting thing of like just game theory. Do you socialize or do you try to look for those advantages, or what's the happy medium between the two?
Yeah.
I
mean, if you're looking at season 1, Charlie, she clearly doesn't try to find that. Like, are you asking me literally, or is that a rhetorical question?
I mean, I like just in a sense of like, do you think in a game looking for advantages is beneficial, or is socializing more beneficial? Like, does Rose have a point, or would you argue that advantages could help in certain situations?
I mean, it's a balance, right? Like, I think you got to trust your gut. Like, you never know what's around the corner and how much an advantage can really change the course of the game and your game. But at the same time, like, if that only gets you to the next tribal, then what? So I totally get where she's coming from. But yeah, I love that, like, she's just kind of like open to all the opportunities available at the Grasslands of Gloom, which I finally said correctly for once.
And I think Rose does say, like, this is the scenario where you can kind of look carte blanche. Like, there's no necessarily downside. It's just the 2 of them. They don't even know who might come back into the game. But if you compare it to something like Anthea, where people are noticing that she's, skiving off, looking for an advantage, that does come with a downside. People go, oh, she's playing the game too hard. She might have an advantage. People don't know what you might end up with or what your motivations are. So I think Rose certainly does have a point, and it does probably depend on the context and how you are looking for those advantages. With people around you.
The way that so many different people are responding to this right now is hilarious. And I feel like there is a sense of like paranoia seeping into that right now. It's all right, guys. You're okay. You're alive.
Your mark's safe.
Time has passed.
But we're reliving it in these moments. I get it.
We'll relive it for you.
Exactly.
Every bit of trauma in the episode, we'll get to it.
We'll get to you there, guys. I promise. But I think your social skills can be used as an advantage. Who knows? I too need an idol. I also need an idol in real life. I feel that.
2.5 years is not enough time. Oh my god.
You guys are so funny. Is there anything else in the Grasslands that you guys thought or saw that needs to be touched on, or are we happy to let them, marinate?
I think the only thing I'd probably flag is how Haley does mention, oh, maybe this is a reset. There might be another advantage. I don't know if either of you think there is another advantage, or if it's the existing double vote legacy advantage that is the only thing in play. It's hard to tell.
I feel like that might have been put in for a reason, right? Just like how another comment later in the show was put in for a reason.
That's true. A little foreshadowing, perchance. I think there might be something secondary. I think we don't have a lot of advantages within play in the main game.
That's
So I
true.
think they're going to be coming from the grasslands. So
Mm.
I think that's probably a good guess. So I don't know, tune in, find out, play along. So that's the grasslands, a gloom. We'll leave Rose and Haley to dig through poo. Well, we head back into the main game.
We'll come back to you and your poo next week.
Exactly. We'll do a poo update, surely. We head on over to Buru, pre-challenge, post-tribal Buru, and yeah, they're kind of feeling it. I think they've had to vote out a few people in a row, and it's not going well. Like Maddie
Sorry,
walking.
I'm not laughing about them not going well. Sorry.
Sure, Charlene, sure.
I've
got my Buru. Got my Buru buff in solidarity.
I don't know why, but I wrote this down that Jordan said something about playing a saxophone during a very specific confessional that I would like to understand how many people, like, is there numbers or data around points in time that people have paused in the episode? That's all. Okay, I've got it out of my system. You guys keep talking. You can be the adults in the room.
If you all know, you know, and if you don't know, ask a friend.
You know, and if you
know.
don't, continue on with your day.
Oh gosh, so it's so funny. But one of the moments that was comic. Lisa from The Simpsons. Oh, that was the quote. Got you. But no, Maddie talking about the what?
Sorry.
We've lost the plot.
We're only 16 minutes in. Oh.
Well, shout out to that confessionalist in confessionals. It was a great. It's a clip that will keep on giving, I fear.
Thank you, Bree. I didn't want to say it, and I haven't said anything. And then somebody else helped say things without saying anything. Sorry, we're all adults. We're okay. We can do this.
Moving back to the water well here. I thought it was funny. Maddie's like, "Do we have everyone here?" And they're like, "Yeah, we only have 6 people on this tribe."
That was so funny.
We're to the point of being like, "Shoot, we've taken out so many people on this swap tribe that we have so little to work with." So I thought that was interesting. Maddie pointing that out and like not realizing it, that they're down to so little. Mm-hmm. Jordan in that confessional says he's happy he made it through this round. He's kind of vibing round by round, making sure that he stays.
I feel like we need to turn off comments. It's ironic. So just so you all know at home, we decided instead of just plugging in a comment every now and then, we just let you free. We just give you all the freedom to be able to comment and, you know, for it to publicly display. But I feel like we need to censor it at this point. Maybe this was a mistake.
This is the wrong episode, maybe, to have hard work.
We're just covering all angles. That's all. That's all.
Exactly.
Covering all angles.
Oh, it's funny. We love your comments. Keep them coming. Questions, comments, concerns, everything. Drop them in. We also get to a point where Maddie and Mushy have a conversation, and this is important because Maddie is a little tired of someone driving the bus, and she wants to start driving the bus. So she says to Mushy, "We should maybe try to work together. Maybe we can get someone who's running this tribe out," i.e. Austin, whatever you want to call him in this episode. We have a few different.
God, so many names for Aston. To be clear, it is Aston. In this podcast, we are only calling him by the name that he has been given, or that he has told us he wants us to call him.
Yeah, Aston, the driver of the bus, and that's what Mushy wants to hear, is because she's trying to figure out where are these cracks coming from. That
was a good social play by Maddie, and I couldn't understand if it was authentic or good social play. That's how like good it was. I was like, actually, I feel like she's telling truth here.
But I think there's a couple of elements going here, or at least some parallel stories, because then we do see Maddie have the conversation with Bree about
Mm.
the Girls Alliance, and if it's just a fake out, if it's just a story to give to Mushy to go, all right, make her feel comfortable that we're not going to vote her out because we've got this other plan. So I think there's a couple of things at play here. That we need to consider. And obviously, they're trying to keep Mushy comfortable so she doesn't go searching for an idol, so she doesn't have an idol so they can vote her out. So, we see how that pans out later on.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I also think Maddie does a really good point in her confessional is I'm playing a boring game. I'm not doing anything exciting. I'm not having a well-rounded game. I need to do something. And I think she sees this opening where she can get Mushy involved and maybe pick up Janine, maybe try to get Bree to come with her, that they could make a move.
Yep.
And that makes her game skyrocket. So I don't think it's in Maddie's brain like, it's not her number one idea, but she's like, if I have an opportunity, I will be going for it. So that's how I see this conversation going from Maddie.
We were robbed of that title, Brie, but we also were given a very epic title that you titled for us. So two things can be true.
Truly.
Yeah, I feel like there's such a balance, right? Because you want to build up your resume. But I can also understand where Aston's coming from as well. He says to Maddie, yes, I hear what you're saying. Like, I understand what you're trying to say, but none of that really matters. Final tribal council, like what happens pre-merge doesn't usually come up. And like from my experience from season 1, it didn't come up. But also, like, when you're watching Survivor, oftentimes people don't necessarily refer back to pre-merge. So I kind of understand where Aston's coming from. But at the same time, she's a returnee. She's got things like that she wants to do, and she's got things that she wants to do for herself. And I'm like, yes, pop off, queen. Like, make those big moves. Like, start like finding those cracks and like building those like deconstruct the social systems that people are building around you, and you create your own. Like, I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think even if it's whatever the plan was, planting the seeds of multiple pathways is not necessarily a bad thing, because you never know what might come up in Survivor. I think Bree talks about it later. There's no foolproof plan, and this is probably a really good episode where that sort of plays out later on. So.
On both tribes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
sure.
For sure.
Oh my god, we're like 23 minutes in, and like we haven't even got to the challenge yet. We haven't even got to the tribe yet.
We've got a lot of notes. It's okay. We also had a lot of fun.
We've got so many notes. This was a huge episode.
It's a double vote out, so we'll give a little bit more time for everything to get there. Generally, we only have one, so you're doing well. Let me see what else. I think another thing that stood out to me was Aston talking with Jordan and Bree. Obviously, that's his main alliance right now, but they're going to be watching Mushy to see if she has any idols or finds any advantages. So it's kind of interesting to see how they're pretty blatantly being like, yeah, this is what we're doing. We're just going to be watching. And then another moment I just really liked that was symbolic for the season was Aston talking about the Rose vote out being a full circle moment.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like another returnee redemption arc. Like, we love to see it. Like, obviously, there's something there for Janine. There's something there for Aston. Rose voted them both out on their original season. And, like, they kind of get that, like, little bittersweet moment back as well, which is sad for Rose, but, like, also, like, this nice kind of, like, full circle moment for Aston and Janine.
Oh, big time. So... Now, Aston's feeling really good about himself in his confessional. Mm-hmm. He says, I'm driving the bus, but people don't think I'm driving the bus. Other people are trying to make it like theirs, and I'm saying that's okay when everyone wants to work with me, and I'm letting it happen. In my brain, I heard that and go, oh, that's famous last words at it right there.
Yeah. And I also find it interesting because he's saying in his confessional, he's like, oh, everyone just thinks they're driving the bus, but I am. But then other people are like, oh, Aston's driving the bus. So it's interesting self-reflection. Like, it's so hard to like know how you're being perceived by other people when you're playing this game. It's like you think you're presenting this, but actually like people are cotton on to different things. Or sometimes like Mushy, on the other hand, I feel like is constantly misinterpreted like by other people. So it's so interesting how like people think of their own representation and then how other people perceive that representation.
And I think we probably need to remember that at the last tribal council, Rose does actually flag, in terms of threats, in terms of what we saw, Aston was one of the big threats, and so was Bree. So while he thinks he's flying under the radar and is playing a really, quite a good game, he's got quite a lot of options. It's not how others perceive.
And he does. He has so many options. He's playing a great game, right? But I think he probably downplayed his own threat level in his brain because like he's a big threat. Like in many ways, he's a great player and people can recognize that.
So we'll see what comes of that after the challenge. I love how we end the segment on this tribe with Janine saying, we need to be a strong team here at this next challenge. Let's go win. And I said, oop. Knowing the results, I was like, oh, that's funny. That's a good ad.
Complacency is not an issue in your game, Aston. Complacency is an issue in everyone's life, not just in this. So do not worry. You are not alone. We are here with you.
Big time. Was there anything else over on this Brewer pre-challenge that stood out to y'all that we didn't touch on?
No, not specifically, but I think we do see, I'm getting a strong alliance between Bree, Aston, and Jordan. Like, that does come through quite strongly, and it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Very true. Well, much like that kangaroo they saw hopping into their camp, we're going to hop on over to... Ooh, you see what I did there? I was like, let me try to get there. We're going to Gula.
Oh, my God.
Gula?
Do you actually put my notes from this?
Please. What are your notes?
I've come with notes. I'm not sure that anyone here wants to know what they are. I've said that I very much, it started serious. I mean, to be honest, all my notes are serious. It's just my version is serious and other people's versions are different. I do love seeing that Nat and Will have started to become a bit of our narrators over in this episode. Like for that Gula tribe, they're really providing a lot of context and they're really starting to break down like, tribal lines are still so strong in this game. And original tribal lines. So OG red, OG blue. But they are seeing these things so clearly and like the way they're able to articulate it. Like that's something like I really feel like I personally didn't do well in season 1 for like myself. So I'm like, when I watch people like that, I'm like, oh, so amazing. Like I just admire them so much because I'm like, the way you can like be so strategic in the game, play such good social games and then like, just be able to articulate things and wrap things up so well, have such a good like analysis of what's going on. It's really incredible to watch. And I know that's like a production point, but I just have really enjoyed watching their like little narration, especially because we're missing Ben now, right? Like Ben was such a good narrator. He added so much like comedy as well. I've been enjoying their confessionals. But one thing I did want to say is, what is Nat's skincare routine? Because I swear to God, like every time I see her side profile, her face is just glowing. And as I said, to me, these are serious notes, but other people might. I just feel like there's a few shots of this whole tribe, right? Like all 6 people or 7 people, the 7 people. Is there 7 people? Yeah, I can't count. We know this already. But that was like, why are they all so photogenic? Like, I was like,
truly attractive,
genuinely, right? They are so photogenic. I was like, how'd you all end up on one tribe? Like, what happened here? Anyway, something in the water over
It's
at
day
Gula.
1, so they're still fresh with their skincare. They haven't had to do the sleep outside yet, do the sleep in their tents. We'll see what day 2 looks like.
This is true. They might rock up tomorrow and like something
We'll
else.
see what
Like, we'll
skincare
come back to
wants.
that.
Skincare
I will
wants.
come to the podcast for skincare tips. Yes. I mean, two things can be true.
We are an
We'll come to the
all-inclusive here.
podcast for pasta water tips. So, all things are fair.
We will get you everything on this podcast, truly. So we'll be watching for skincare. I also saw like Nat's hair was like so pretty on one side too. So I get it. There's points. I'm like, dang.
Ooh. I'm like, damn, girl. People aren't supposed to look this good on Survivor.
She doesn't. She does not.
Photogenic tribe, like all of them though.
They are all pretty. The casting team have done very well.
They only cast pretty people from now on. Like none of this other stuff.
They don't care about masterminds. We just want pretty. And you are serving. You're serving. So good. Well, the first person I have to talk about is Nat. This tribe is. She thinks that it's going to be another original blue leaving from that other tribe. So she's worried and thinks that the original 4 blue on this tribe need to stick together, which I think a lot of the other people are agreeing. Derek saying the same thing, that those 4 have really bonded in that time where they've had downtime. And Inthea is worried. I'm jumping a little too ahead. Let's talk about that. Like the blue versus red stick. I think, it's very a 4-3. It would make sense in my eyes to stick strong. But is there any pros to jumping from that 4 and going to a 4 with the reds?
I mean, it makes for great TV.
Well, he is.
But I always think there is a pro, right? That
Yeah.
someone's got to be at the bottom of the 4. You
Yeah.
need to figure out if you are at the bottom of the 4 and if jumping makes sense to you. So I think it does come down to the pitch that comes your way, and how many options you have. I'm just not sure that the options that were given, it as you say, Ashley, it did almost come still, even when they were doing the pitches, it almost came back to the original tribal lines a little. It's like, you join us on our side or come over to you to your side. It wasn't a amorphous, clump of people that might vote together. It did seem still
It's
very, rough lines that were drawn from the original blue and red tribes.
Yeah, and like I agree. Like there's always like a pro and con in every situation, right? It's really hard to know, and it's hard to know as a viewer. Like I feel like when you're in that situation, there are just some things that you can only get from an in-person game.
Agreed.
That you can't get through a screen. And so I feel like there wasn't enough trust there. I'm not sure that the story was being sold enough. And that's why people felt like they would be at the bottom of that 4. Whereas the potential where it could go really well is if the person was like, let's work together, and they could potentially band together and go into merge as this big thing, but they're still tighter within this like smaller unit amongst the bigger like alliance. So that can work really well for you. And sometimes being on the bottom within a vote or 2 actually puts you on top because you're kind of in the middle as well. And so if you're really good social play, you can kind of like weave through those things. So I feel like it's really just dependent. I mean, Survivor's an ever-changing game, right? So I feel like it's like a point in time. It depends on what's being presented to you, who it's being presented by, how authentic it is, what's going on, what's the broader environment, who else, there's just so many things. But I don't know that there's a right or wrong decision there. I do think there's a potentially safer decision, which is where it looks like things are heading. But in saying that, we always know that high risk, high reward. And so the more risk you play in life, in Survivor, the more likely you are to have points on, under you're more likely to have things on your resume and things like that. So this, I don't know, like it's like what Maddie's saying. There's you can play safe and you can have numbers going to merge, but then if you don't make moves, then where does that leave you?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I reckon there's an element of time here. Like they probably have not had. I guess if you've got days and days and days to build relationships, find fractures, have conversations that build up, trust and relationships and alliances, that's probably easy to navigate. But in a really quick 2-day game, that's much harder to do. And you can actually see that in some of the conversations. Like, I feel like the...
Oh no! What happened?
Ready? Oh, he's back.
He's back.
Disappeared. I was just going to say, you can see some of the chats. Everyone comes with their cards close to their chest, but not like you give a little bit. You might say, I've got this card and that card, but you don't give the whole picture. It's a very guarded conversation, which is really hard to build trust. But then you try and get some information back. But it's a really hard conversation to navigate, to build trust, to get someone to try and talk to you, or vice versa.
Well, and I think we see exactly this debate going on through some of the narrations and conversations that Will starts having with a few different people. The main one is with Adele or Deli. Sorry, I got a DM from don't know. Insert Derek's Twitter DMs if anyone he got hacked. That's what I was just kidding. I just need to make a public announcement.
This is not sponsored by Derek, by the way.
No, this is truly just getting a DM. Anyways, so the Deli and Will conversation. Deli wants Will to jump over with the former Reds and become a number, but Will is not taking that positively. He says he doesn't want to be on the bottom of that 4. He thinks they just want him to work with them for a number, not really for his best interest. They want him to submit to their will, which he's worried about.
His own will.
All of that. He's worried that Nat could flip since Deli's approaching it as, oh yeah, Nat seems really interested working with us, this and that. So this kind of makes Will put his eyes on Deli, saying, oh, she's a well-rounded player. She's got friends on the other tribe. If they meet back up, I'm just going to be like, nothing. I'm going to get thrown to the wayside. So this conversation, I think, is a really key point for Will and Deli in this episode of kind of Deli comes at it positively, but it's not taken positively, which is very interesting.
Yeah, because it sounded like Deli was offering some information going, hey, I've got these people on the other side. They'll join us. We'll make a big number.
Yeah.
And we'll flip that to go, oh.
No, like you don't know what was said pre-swap. And then if you meet up at merge, like so many things can happen. And I think, Deli's made a really good point here in the comments. You don't know what's going to happen to that relationship until it gets tested at tribal council.
Yeah.
That's what I always think. And sometimes, your worst enemy in Survivor soon becomes your closest alliance too, depending on what happens at a tribal, and what happens in the aftermath of that. So many variables.
Absolutely. And like, everyone's not sure where everyone's standing. Like, Deli comes from this conversation thinking those Gula 4 are not strong, whereas we're hearing from the Gula 4, no, we're very strong. We're not going to do that. Yeah. Like, to the point where Anthea's talking and saying the former Red are trying to, like, get people. They might try to go to Desperation Station and potentially ruin this 4 for us. So she's trying to think, how do I prepare for this if that does happen? So a lot of pre-thinking as well.
I do like, though, how Deli's playing so fluidly because she's thinking about a merge game. And I feel like everyone else is also thinking about a merge game, but in a different way. They're like, how do I make sure I've got numbers at merge? Whereas she's like looking at individuals as well as a broader alliance. And I think that that's like such an important thing in Survivor because, again, like you might have safety in numbers 1 vote, but then the next vote comes around. But if you've got some individual relationships to work with as well, like that can always be helpful. So I do like that she's working on that. But talking about Anthea and this 4 alliance, I did love this quote in Mark's confessional. Queen Athena, he's called her Athena. Queen Athena and her little puppets, her 3 little puppets. And I was like, I love, again, like, it's so interesting because obviously Anthea's not going to be thinking about it in that way, but like how different people perceive different things. And I was like, I just love that in Mark's head, it's like, she's running the ship, she's the queen of this tribe, and she's got her little puppets and her minions around her.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's super fun, but I also think like the Blue Fours, they're strong aligned, but they're trying to outwardly have a facade of not. Because Derek tells former Red, nothing's been formed on this side. We're not really like big together. He says he wants to link up, and maybe try to work together that way. So he's trying, the facade's there, and that might be part of the reason why they're trying to be so fluid.
Yeah, and Will has said in the chat that I think with Rose and Ben going out in the other tribe did actually help strengthen their bonds, which I can, I can understand.
That makes sense.
You're seeing some old blue go out. You're seeing your, broader old Gula numbers dwindling. That probably does go, all right, if we are going to make merge, we actually do need at least an original blue cohort that we can sort of
you don't want to be like one of a couple of original blue people left when you make it to merge. Like we've seen seasons like that. It doesn't go well.
Yeah, we don't want any gonging, truly. We have to take a moment. One other thing. Nat says she'd probably target Mars out of the people on Red just because.
So interesting.
The other two said, yeah, I'll work with you, which I thought was just funny. Like, oh, you didn't say it, so you're gone. Bye. I like that processing. So, but yeah, really interesting. Let's take a comedy break in the middle of this strat chat to talk about Will and him cutting his finger.
Oh my god!
I have a lot of questions, and the first one is,
how did he injure himself that badly on a stick?
Like I was like, what were you doing with your hands?
Actually, what were you doing with your hands, Will? Now that you're here in the chat, please let us know. We need this information.
I'm not sure Will can't answer us right now. I think he's making pasta for dinner. So,
and he's trying to cut the bread and cut his one finger right now. So he definitely doesn't have the fingers to type. You're right.
I do also love our little cameo of our medic, season 3, Andrew.
Yes, good. We always love a flashback.
We love seeing Andrew as Will's little medic there.
This is the closest we get to a medic evacuation in Survivor Canberra.
The closest yet on the season.
It's a lot of blood. There was a lot of blood coming off his.
And that's what I mean. Like, what was he doing with the stick that there was that much blood?
Truly, like I just need to know, like, how deep did you get? Like, was it just like a hangnail that went rogue? Like, hello.
Genuinely.
Questions. Well, and he's like, will this affect my challenge competition? Foreshadowing on this one's funny as well. Like, I don't know if it's gonna help me.
No idea how that happened. Seriously?
No, we need answers.
Like, what were you doing? Was it the sugar? Like, no, it was before that.
It was pre-sugar. So, like, he couldn't
pre-sugar.
Pre-sugar and pre-zoomies. Like, I don't know.
We had the stick incident, but he'd also done his thumb in another episode, which we didn't see, but he's obviously got something injured on both hands, right?
Yeah, so he's balanced. He has equilibrium with his injuries, and he needed that. He was failing off center. So that's what we're going with. So I just needed to add that bit in because I too am also a klutz, so I needed to just highlight that. Anyways, back to game. We get the former Red, Deli and Mars talking about how they're not worried about Red flipping against each other. Mars tells Deli that she's his number one. And this is when they kind of start to arise that Anthea might be the person they would target just because she's a returner. She's out looking for advantages and idols. And it's one of those things that rubs them wrong because she doesn't talk proper strat chat to them. Well, to Mars at least. So this is kind of an interesting conversation of a potential blue target coming up.
And I
Yeah.
think this is again what I was referring to it before, but that returnee sort of like trying to do something for yourself, right? And it's like you've got this goal in your head. And Anthea, she's like, okay, this is the point in time where I actually went home. So like what I was saying with Rose before, like she's got this in her head. So Anthea's got this now in her head. And you can see the paranoia seeping in. And like she's like, okay, so if we do lose the challenge, like what am I going to do? Like what do we do with this? What do we do with that? Like, and she's thinking about all these things, and she's not really, I think, allowing herself to open social conversations with the OG3 Red tribe members. So I feel like in some ways that's good that she's like thinking that hard about it, and then in other ways it can be limiting because you're almost like hyper focused on this thing rather than like taking a step back and going, okay, what else is here? Who else can I be talking to? What else can I be doing in the situation?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that totally comes out in her gameplay. Like there's that scenario where I think Mars comes to chat with Deli and Anthea. Anthea's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go chat to Will now," and Mars just reacts quite, um, he
Flippantly.
reacts to that, going, "She does not want to talk to me," even though they had that no, they had that merge. Alliance of sorts between Will, Anthea, and Mars to look after each other going into merge. So that obviously hasn't held any water. And
Mars said, "That's void. No more."
Nope.
And I think it's interesting. Anthea might also be a little paranoid within herself. Maybe that's part of why she's like, I'm going to go talk to Will or this or that. Because this is the vote's home in her original season. So maybe she's a little in her head. Like that could potentially be part of why she says she should be feeling safe. But I don't know. I just don't know. Saying she's.
But I think it's like, when you've been a returnee, you carry that like, you also thought you were safe at some point in your original season too, right? And so her paranoia is absolutely valid. Like she has been here before and she knows what this feels like. And so she's like, I can't let this happen to myself again. Like I know I'm setting myself up for a different game here, and like I don't want to be going down in the same way.
And to be fair, a 4-3 vote, that is the time to be paranoid, right? It only takes one vote to switch, or an advantage, or an idle played, or an immunity to, completely screw up any numbers or any plans. So I can understand why you would be paranoid, even though you might be in the majority, about how that might play out.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last thing I highlight here is Will says, I don't want to lose his 3 best allies. Guru needs to go home. That's what his mindset is going into this challenge. Is there anything else you guys want to highlight before we get to that challenge from over here? I think we've hit a lot of it. Okay, well, let's move right into the challenge then. We get Gula finding out Rose goes home. They said, yeah, it's sad, kind of predicted it, had a feeling. It's
like guttural responses though, right? Like very, very vocal responses, which says a lot about how they feel.
Oh, they're not happy to see another one of their members going, and it's sad. But we get Dan and Liv, and they say, "Give me that idol back." Up for grabs on this one, but the individual, because it's a double.
Oh my god, I loved that. I mean, the players definitely wouldn't have loved that, but I loved it.
I love good TV. So Eden said this was a twist from Vanuatu, so old school Survivor, this little twist. So this historians of Survivor lore, thank you for bringing it in for fun TV, because it brought great TV. Great. And also up for grabs at this challenge, besides winning immunity, you could get some soda pops if you were the winning tribe. So that is...
Sorry, keep going. Because I read Will's comment and I'm like, we need to get to this comment.
We
Sorry.
can talk about it. Go for it. I also
Also-
noticed the dream team.
The dream team. I feel like we have a cameo here right now. I did love this dream team.
I feel like I'm actually wearing the same shirt I was in the dream.
So funny, I didn't even realize.
Oh, I love
I
that.
love it. I love it so much. But can I just say, speaking about the dream team and how good they were, I specifically loved Todd's acting at the end when he didn't win. Todd from season 3, if you don't know what I'm talking about. His acting, I feel like he deserves to be nominated for an Oscar.
God, he's an actor. We do love him.
I
He's so
loved
good.
it so much. Yeah, exactly. The dropping of the head motor. He's just so disappointed.
You know, and he was being really real with it too, because a lot of the people were pretty disappointed when they got out. So, you know, he was just trying to embody Survivor. And he did.
It was heartbreaking. I felt that.
Now, were we shocked at all when Red loses so quick as they did?
Oh my gosh. I felt so bad. That's so mean, Ashley.
No, it was so quick.
Jordan was like, he's like, yeah, we can do this. And then Jordan then responded quite the opposite when they didn't do it. There was some serious expletives that were captured on audio. Please don't go back if you didn't catch that.
Did anyone drop out of the? Like, I think the whole both tribes just ran right through. I don't think anyone dropped out.
No, I don't think anyone dropped out.
was
It's quite
pretty-
quick. Yeah.
It was pretty quick,
Yeah.
but it also looked really hard. It looked really tough. Like, and I understand it was pretty hot that day as well. So
I heard it was upwards of 35°C. I don't know. That's what the rumors were saying.
Well, it is a rumor. I've been in trouble for quoting. You cast, you tell us things, we say them thinking you're just telling us the truth, and then we get told that it was not factually correct. Like the croissants were not stale. It was apparently 28, Brie. I've been told. I have been told.
oh no. Will says it's 40.
Fahrenheit.
Bree said it's 30 degrees both days, but Will says it's 40, so it must be,
If you guys are
above 40.
talking in Fahrenheit, that's beautiful running weather. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you guys have no idea what you're talking about.
Guys, that's perfect. What do you mean? Come on. No, that would be god awful if it was Celsius.
But something I do have to say about this challenge is not specifically about the challenge, but about the footage. I was obsessed with the drone footage. I was like, hello, is this like a YouTube show? Like this, what? What am I watching right now? Were you not here for the drone? I was like, I had to take some drone footage in season 3 and I was like, I'm out. Like, I'm not good with this. So whoever took that drone footage, kudos to you.
Oh, just watching Will and Mars just run majestically with that drone footage, like killer. So good.
It was so good. I genuinely loved it so much. I don't know, just if anyone knows, drop their name in the comments. They deserve all the kudos. It's so good. These croissants are still up for debate. Derek, we don't actually listen to any of the information you give us anymore. There was no freezer rice. There was no stale croissants. Nothing you tell us is based on facts.
We will take it with a grain of salt. Your facts. We'll see. Liv will come and tell us you're wrong, and that's okay.
She bought those croissants herself, and I only listen to Queen Liv.
True.
Yeah.
She's above all.
Correct.
So, did you guys have your betting odds on Will winning? Like, did it feel pretty easy to see?
I just felt sorry for everyone else, to be honest.
I did too. But I also loved that they all gave it a really good crack. Like
They did.
Deli she was going for it. You could see
Going for it. Mars was
she was
going for it.
Mars was going for it. Like, even though, Nat was out early, Derek was out early, they were still gunning for it from the get-go. I thought it was a really impressive run by all of them. So
Oh yeah. Mars saying that he was trying to game it to make Will take everyone out and then him just take out Will, which, like, if you could do that, amazing strat. Like,
but even the strategy, right? Like where he's like put himself behind Will. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, what about this? But like I just feel so bad for them. Like you'd get so gassed so quickly with that challenge. Like bloody hell.
yeah, I mean, not much you can do with the runner. Mars said finally just, hey, tap me out. You're gonna get me. There's not much.
I did. I loved that. I love that you put your hand out for the high five there, Mars. That was great. I was like, you know what? I actually would have. I mean, my personal strategy. I wasn't playing. I don't know why I'm telling people this, but we know this about me. I actually would have gone right in front of Will, and then I would have just been like, "You go, Will."
Yes, I'll support you. I mean, yeah, that's very fair. Anthea is correct.
Sitting out was the best
You're
option.
the real winner.
Queen. And you still get those custom-made Survivor Canberra cookies, which I would like to know what the recipe is, or if somebody wants to make them for me, I would gladly accept. I will happily send you my address.
Yes, I want to see what they look at. They never like highlighted them super close, so I need to see them.
Oh, who would have won if it was Buru running? This is like working out Survivor meta. It's like, if you didn't vote me out, then what would have happened here? If I didn't do this, what would have? Oh my god, I don't know.
I reckon the order would probably be pertinent, but maybe Bree or Jordan.
Yeah, I was going to say Bree or Jordan. Jordan's got pretty long legs. Bree's got some stamina.
But she's a good,
And Aston agrees. So I think we might be on the right track. It might even come down to where they're positioned amongst their tribe and probably how long they go for.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And given how Jordan's response to not winning the challenge and the reward, I feel like probably meant that he felt like he had a pretty good chance at getting the individual immunity if that tribe did. Money's on Oh god. That's so funny. What flavor were the cookies though? Because I'm a cookie gal, so no, seriously. I've been thinking about this. I wrote a note about it. I'm serious.
Sorry,
I was joking.
I thought we were still talking about the dangles. That's why I laughed.
Always about it. Oh, that's so funny. Comment down below.
I know you did.
You pre-partied before the party. I've been accused of being drunk on this podcast, and I can assure you that I have been sober every podcast. Monday night, people. It's a school night.
Shortbread with fondant paired perfectly with a Coke.
Coke? Oh.
Who made that? The cookies.
Always vanilla. You're right.
I feel like Coke would be really hard in that, like when you're really thirsty in the heat. I feel like having all that soda
Liv
would
made
be
them
unsettling, but maybe it is so hot. Oh.
Yeah. I think the colas. We do see Derek walk away with them. He did tell us that he was trying to search for any advantages. So that's
I did love like the confessionals and the conversations afterwards, like the strat tacket,
and just being like,
and another person chugging on lemonade and Coke while they're like, "Who do you want to vote out?" I don't know.
Well, and the lemonades were like black, and I was like, "Is that like a beer? Like, what are they drinking?" Because I don't know the brand, obviously.
No,
I'm like, "Oh, it's lemonade." I was like, that's
It's
fun.
like hard lemonade. It's not actually. They're
Can you
just
imagine?
fine. No wonder Cynthia thinks I'm drunk. I'm also drinking the hard lemonades.
That's why Will's outtake is so wild. He had a spiked lemonade. That's it.
Oh my gosh. If you guys have not seen that extra bonus clip, top tier.
It's
Top
so
tier.
good. It's everything you need to know about Will is just him on Sugar Rush. So good. Um,
Maybe we should all play Drunk Viber. I feel like this is a sign.
sign me up.
I've never played, so I'm ready if anyone's down. Anyway, Sugar Viber.
Sugar
Yeah.
Viper would be fun. Oh, so let's jump into it, I suppose. Let's get to the Sugar Viper of it all. Post Galen.
It's only an hour in.
We're taking our time to get to this, but there's a lot. Will comes out saying, I don't care if I won. I wanted to win this one. I'm a runner. I don't care if it made me look like a challenge threat. I was going to do it. Don't care. So good for him.
Sometimes you just got to do the things for yourself in the game of Survivor. Like, the chances of there's 18 contestants. Like, not everyone is going to win. So if there are certain things you want to get off your bucket list, sometimes it is worth just putting yourself out there and being like, might put me like a bit of a target on my back, but like, who knows? Like, let's just like live to see another day, you know? And like, let's take this off my bucket list. I know that it's something I can get. So like, kudos to you.
A runner
you'd
and
be
a
crazy.
star.
You'd be crazy not to go for it in a double or limit.
Yeah,
as well.
100%.
Exactly. That's the round you wanted for sure. Absolutely. And like what he gets later also is the cherry on top. So like a really perfect round to get it. Let's see. We also get a conversation with Mars and Derek reaffirming that the Melbourne boys are still well and good. They want to be a shield. And Mars tells Derek that he trusts Deli, which is not what Derek wanted to hear, and kind of helped reaffirm to Derek, Deli's who I'm going to be voting out tonight. Because he's feeling better about Mark.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I feel like Mark has this like subtle way of just building trust with people. Like I've noticed, like he's just kind of like gently under the radar, like flying under the radar, but like people seem to trust him. Like no one's putting his name out there. So I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might work well with this potential 4 thing going on.
He could be a 5th. He could. Could be nice. Could be cute.
He could break it up.
But I also think you're right, Ashley. I think this is the first sort of snippet we get of Adele being a target from this Melbourne Boys chat, where Derek's like, oh, actually, I think she might be a bit of a threat. So she's got some links on the other side. So we start to see that coming through in the other conversations.
And then, like, at the same time, Nat's also like, but maybe it'd be good to try to maybe keep some of the red and get a strong 6 with them with the other side, perhaps. She's kind of debating both sides of the coin of, should I work with the red or should I stay with the blue? As she's kind of thinking, what is the best way to go into merge? What is the strongest for me?
I love seeing her confessionals and her thought processes on things. It's kind of
absolutely. She definitely looks at all sides of the story, which I do appreciate a lot.
Yeah.
And we do start to see a conversation between Nat and Will about, again, maybe we should be going for Adele because she's not budging or she's not willing to be flexible in her votes or how she's willing to play. And again, that's another, I guess, a strike in sort of the old blue tribe about Adele being a potential threat.
Yeah.
And Deli says to Nat also in the same breath, like the red doesn't have any cracks, so we will be solid.
Yeah.
And that's when she starts pushing Anthea as a name officially.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where they're trying to figure out what's the best way. And while we start to get a little bit of this name conversation, Anthea decides,
Take a little walk.
I need to take a walk to a station, perhaps. So she just swings by good old Will. Says, Will, I think I'm going to go take the desperation station. Is that okay? He's like, sure.
Yeah.
I guess so. I'm safe, so I guess so.
And I love that she also like wants to tell someone from her alliance as well. And she says in her confessional, you know, I didn't get a chance to tell Derek and that, but I'll just have to tell them at tribal. But she's already thinking about that. Like she's like thinking first and foremost, like I'm doing this as a defensive tactic. She's doing it very strategically. I'm like, I love this.
Oh, I love a defensive move because the best offense is defense.
Yeah, totally. And she does, I think she does talk about it earlier in the episode, like post-tribal from before, where she had been thinking about Desperation Station. She knows that the old red guru numbers are lower, and she would think, oh, they're going to go to Desperation Station. So it's in the back of her mind. I would say it's probably not in the back of everyone's mind. Like people kind of forget, out of sight, out of mind. They forget about that advantage, and they might forget how the mechanics of that advantage might operate too. So she does go for it.
She does, and what the aftermath of her doing is wild because Deli walks on up and is like, yo, hey, y'all, we got a problem. Anthea took it. Does she get a vote? Does she not? Do we have a 3-3? What do we do?
I love how Deli says it has become pandemonium. And then, like, I don't know if it was just like playing into the drama, but he does a very good job at playing into the drama if that's what he's doing. But I feel like everyone genuinely is freaking out. And even Nat and Derek are like, what the hell? Like, we did not know about this. What is going on?
Yeah.
What does Anthony say 5 times in season 3? What in the world?
Well, and like Nat and Derek are like, what if one of the blue or red has something? Are they going to flip it to you or I, to Derek or Nat? Are we not safe? Like, it's one of those things where we're like, oh shit, how do I protect myself in this moment now? And Blue becomes worried about that because of the numbers. If she doesn't have a vote, if the mechanic changes, and Nat is recognizing that, wow, this is a vet move that Anthea did, being a returner. She has some forethought thinking about this. But she says we should be solid, the 3 of us, Will, Derek, and I, on Deli, hoping that's enough. And they're hopeful that they can get Mars to flip at Tribal Council to vote with them. That is one of their big hopes that they're doing.
And Derek's made a good point here with like in the comments around not only did she take the totem and go to Desperation Station, but now people are starting to believe as well that it means they lose her vote or she doesn't get to vote. And I don't know how that thought came about or where that sort of rumor started, but obviously it gains a lot of traction and it's part of the real, again, to use this word, but paranoia that occurs with her 3 alliance members in Nat, Derek, and Will. And it's really interesting then because it's almost like these 6 people who someone's going home from 6 available people, but the 6 people outside of Anthea that are left back at camp, you know, they're sort of talking about, oh, we'll do a 2-2-2 or we'll do a 3-3. And I'm like, the way they're sort of talking very openly about it was really interesting. And they're like, yeah, we'll all go to Rocks. And I'm like,
yeah.
I mean, I love Rocks. Don't get me wrong. Yes. But I love Rocks when it's like a forced situation. Like you're like, shit, we're going to Rocks. Oh no, I swore. Whoops, sorry.
Mars
Derek
is one.
Derek just said in the chat that it was Mars that
Mars, did you do that as like just to add a little bit of like spicy? Because I feel like that worked really well. If that was a defensive move.
I also think in a game that's moving so quickly, if there's any little bit of misinformation, intended or not, if something like that drops, everyone kind of picks up and going, maybe I missed that detail, maybe that's right, and then everyone
that's so true.
Everyone has gone, oh god, it's potentially Rocks. Nat says, oh, it's now 3-3. What are we going to do? Anthea's lost her vote. It's and that just spread like wildfire, and that almost came
No.
through in the camera work, right? Everyone, like, I felt like the camera work was running to catch up because we were like, what is going on in this chat?
My
So
second watch was on 2X, so that running scene was like Twilight running.
So with the True Deli, were you, because you put your name, you're like, I'm happy to put my name forward. Were you essentially trying to potentially protect your name as well? In that if you're forced rocks, then you wouldn't end up having to have your name as, like, you wouldn't have to draw a rock? Was that like a 3 steps ahead thing? Like, just curious.
in looking at Deli's comment, it sounds like she thought it was very similar to the shot in the dark, where you play the shot in the dark, you lose your vote. So they thought that was the equivalent in Desperation Station, is how I understand it. And looking at Derek's comment, it sounded like, yeah, cool. What? I just don't think they had enough time, or even just 5 seconds to go. Let's just calm and process what's going on.
I also love Will's comment about crew clarifying. One, I have a question. Did you actually ask crew outright? And two, potentially the information was given to you at an early point. And I think if it was given to you at an early point and it was clear at that point in time, crew probably would just let you play out some really great content. But if you did actually try and ask crew, depending on the situation, they would, like, especially if there's enough people that are like saying it was unclear or vague and no one has any recollection of receiving the information, I am pretty sure crew would give it to you. So in defense of crew, not that I was crewing that weekend, hence why I'm here on the podcast instead, but I feel like they're pretty balanced, you know. But yeah, it made for great content. So if that's the intended outcome, great.
And, crew would
Sorry, it was at your expense.
Crew would definitely, like, if it would affect the game in a negative, like impact the situation, I don't think they'd give it to you. But you know, I think you guys were doing enough on your own where crew said, let them cook.
Honestly,
let them cook, let them have it.
I think the sugar was doing what the sugar needed to do, and it was giving the viewers what they wanted.
It's nice to see some comments from Deli and Mars where Deli felt like she was up against the wall, so she was just, trying to throw whatever mud at the wall to see what sticks. And Mars is saying, hopefully they were fractured enough where the threat of going to rocks might actually flip them. So it's also a good play. You kind of need to play the cards that you're dealt with, and if that was a scenario where people might feel like it's a 3-3 vote, then you might have a chance if you might not otherwise.
And one piece that I really liked with all this confusion is Mark is really trying to push back to these blues, being like, are you sure you can trust Anthea? Look what she just did. She left you out to dry. Are you sure?
I did love that.
Yeah.
Like, he's really trying to sell it. And at the same time, he's trying to figure out, is this the right move for me to go with him or not? So it was really, I thought Mark was doing some subtle work there, which I really appreciated.
I loved it. I actually really love Mark's game. Like, I feel like, yes, I'm excited to see more of it. I feel like he just makes these, like, very calm, like, little power moves. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he's definitely he's not trying to push too much, but just enough to, like, get people thinking, which is good. So, do we have anything else for this pre-tribal scramble? We've had a lot. There's a lot to cover on this one.
I do also just love the comments. Like, they're still just as scrambled as the tribal itself. Like, if I'm not going to lie, guys, like Deli saying this, Will saying this, Mars saying this, Derek saying, I'm like,
it's so good. It just
but you know what? I was watching going, I don't know what's going to happen. This is great.
Honestly,
this is great TV.
Honestly, I had both of these tribals. So good.
Yeah, so
I loved it because I feel like sometimes you can get like an inclination. This episode, nothing.
We were sitting. It could be anything.
Genuinely.
So we get a cut to break, and they say you get to wait 20 minutes to find out what happens as we go to visit Buru post challenge and pre-tribal, where I think we'll have a little less content in this one just because it seems so cut and dry what might happen. So we get back with vibes being down because they did not get a Coca-Cola.
No,
Or
no.
maybe they just a lot more calm and we were just so used to seeing people in a sugar rush.
You know, that could be. That could be. We maybe just had to like come down from their sugar rush secondhand. That's where we're at. Everyone talks about this. This is going to be an easy vote, which just is not sitting right with Maddie. Maddie says, I found out the definition of goat isn't greatest of all time. It's goat. So
That
she
is
wants to
so
be a
good.
goat, not a goat.
But to be fair to Maddie, like I also didn't know what a survivor goat was until I played as well. So I also just assumed goat was greatest of all time. So I get you, Maddie. I had to have people explain these things to me too. Survivor has its own language and jargon, so it's not on us to know those things.
Exactly.
I'm defending,
No,
but I did love
I'm here for Maddie to regain and retake the GOAT Survivor to be greatest of all time. Let's rebrand it.
Yes.
Let's bring it back. I like it.
Yeah, you rebrand it yourself, Maddie. I'm very keen to see you to be the good goat of this season.
Exactly. And while at the same time, Aston says, I'm straight up going to tell Mushy that I will be voting for her.
Yeah.
I don't foresee her getting any idols. Will be following her. And he says he's always the first person to tell the plan and make the plan. Because he has his main alliance with Rhea and Jordan, but he also has his side deals with Maddie and Janine. So he's saying, I feel like I'm fine. I'm going to start thinking about how I need to think in the future of the game and how I need to link up with the red and make sure we don't lose a red. Well, yes.
Oh. I mean, this is where we see the Girls Alliance now, the fake plan or whatever the plan was.
I feel like part of it is real and part of it is not.
I agree. I mean, it is where Bree says, Maddie's like, oh, I don't know how to, make this plan happen. And Bree's like, bring out your inner villain. And then she has this evil
Oh my God, I loved that.
It is perfection.
I know the way Bree just brought her in, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah, it's wild of like, they're talking to Mushy being like, this is the plan. Here's this. Mushy's like, well, I'm going to keep pitching. I'm either going to pitch and try to crack or I'm going to be in the grasslands of gloom and I'm ready to battle back. So I'm going to keep trying. And if they're lying to me, well, that's on them. Mushy talks to Jordan and tells him she feels like he's the leader of the tribe. And Jordan's like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean?
He's not completely no, though, when she says that, which I find interesting.
Right. He's like, oh, okay, well, yeah. And he just kind of like lets it happen. And then Mushy tells us how she's feeling closer with Maddie, and she's just happy that Maddie is talking to her and talking game and not letting her leave out for dry, which that's a human aspect of this game is keep talking to them even if they, play the game because something might happen where Mushy can become safe.
You never know what's going to happen. You never. And I think that's kind of like the point I was trying to make about like sometimes being on the bottom is like it's not actually the bottom. Like you might think it is, and then like you might, Anyway, that's kind of what I was talking about before. I do like something that Maddie has said, and again, not just to be like, I understand how that feels, but she said there's some footage before Tribal where I couldn't remember who I was voting for, and this is where the mushy for mushy comes in. But I feel like anyone who's played Survivor, like I don't know anyone that's had at least that. Oh my God, I have too many double negatives here. Sorry. I don't know anyone that hasn't had at least an experience where you go up to the urn, you go like, oh, I thought I was voting for this person, maybe I'm not. And like you go to write someone else's name down or like you cross it out or like you're just like, I'm putting this name down, but I'm actually not sure about it. Like, we have all been there. Like, anyone who has played this game has been there. And if you haven't, it's probably because you were about to get blindsided and people were making that decision about you. Like, you know what I mean?
I've seen it.
So know that you got a low, Maddie.
Exactly. Like, I've seen people who are final 6, 7, something like that, and they say the wrong name. You're like, wait, who are you talking about? They're like, this person. I'm like, let's say Sarah. They're like, Sarah. I'm like, who's Sarah? They're like, yeah, Sarah. I'm like, Sam. And they're like, oh shoot! Like, your brain just gets so like into it. You don't even realize that you're wrong. Like, so you have to correct them, and they keep going like, oh, Sarah. You're like, no, it's Sam. Come on. So I've been there. I've seen it. It's very good.
100%. 100%.
I also I do want to call out one of my favorite quotes from Maddie, and maybe it's a very Australian thing, but when she goes to Mushy, are you thinking what I'm thinking, B1? Like, it's very, it's very subtle.
I don't know if you would have got that reference, Ashley, but we have this like kids show called Bananas in Pajamas, and it's these two bananas that are literally dressed up in pajamas. I don't saying it out loud. This doesn't make any sense. And they're called B1 and B2, and they're kind of like Tweedledee and Tweedledum sort of situation. Okay. Anyway, so I just love yes.
I thought it was a great quote.
It was a great quote.
I love continuing my Australian education. It truly
yes, now you have to watch Bananas in Pajamas to understand the full context of this episode.
Exactly. No, I love any reference.
M1 and M2.
Let's see. Just a small thing we don't have to spend too much time on. Janine finds the same clue that Maddie did, and they're trying to work it together with Aston. That
was so funny. Sorry. Like, that totally would have been me, but that was so funny.
Oh, truly. Being like,
and I didn't understand. Like, Janine was like, I've got the clue to get the clue to the idol. And then Maddie's like, I've rubbed it onto my leg. I'm like, what?
You're like, this must be like the Da Vinci Code at this point, because we're working.
Meanwhile, Anthea got it like 3 episodes ago.
She did.
Yes, she did. She said, "This is hard." Hello. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, sharing your clues if you don't know, it's probably a good call, Maddie. I hear you.
Yeah, and it's a good way to build trust as well, especially at this point in the game.
Yeah, I mean, idols can be more than just safety. They can be a bargaining chip or a social gaining chip. So, like, use it however you want to use it. It doesn't have to be a one size fit. So, I mean, see if it helps you.
I'm getting traumatized by the fact that people are talking about losing audio. I'm like, oh my God. That's why my face was like that. I'm just going to skip over that.
And then the last point I have on this one is Janine realizes that Aston is running things over here. Mm-hmm. And she says, I don't remember the context, but a quote that really resonated with me is she's like, you can't trust anyone. I don't even trust myself. And that last half really like made me think, I'm like, that's good, because sometimes I'd be saying shit. So I'd be like, yeah.
That was so funny and so relatable.
Yeah, it's truly.
It was giving blood on the cocktail, honestly.
Yeah, and that's probably why it resonated.
But I also just had one more thing to add about the politics side of things. I feel like a few times I've seen like people don't quite know how to read Mushy, but something I really loved about watching her, especially this episode, she really has command of every single conversation. Like, she understands exactly what she wants to say to people and what she wants to get out of the conversation. Sometimes they don't understand that, but I don't know, she just is very commanding, and I very much appreciate watching her and her social game, considering she has nothing, literally zero to work with. I think she says in an earlier confessional, it's pretty much me. Do I just let fate do its
Yeah.
thing. And I just thought that that was such a beautiful moment because in some ways fate does do its thing. We'll cover that later, but you know, I just am like Queen Mushy, like she's still controlling every single social interaction she has. She still has intent behind everything she's doing. You know, like she still has like is trying to build like this really good social game with the people that she thinks she can trust. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah. And you know, that's the silent confidence, and I love that. Let's go for that. Janine
There's a
says
lot
she
going
would
on.
have voted for Mushy had
Wow.
Will not given it the
Cool.
twist.
There we go.
Had Will. Oh, right. But
Yeah.
then there's a quote. But Janine, you also said in a quote you're definitely voting out Aston. You said in a confessional.
Ooh, it was the maybe two of her options. Interesting. Hmm.
Were you just throwing everyone's name out? Actually, you were like, I'm voting Aston, I'm voting Bree, I'm voting Jordan, and then just allowing people, the editors, to use just whatever.
The Franken
Whatever.
votes were real. Oh, that's so good.
Imagine.
Dan's just in there being like, I get to have that.
She didn't trust us.
And honestly, that's valid. But yeah, no, this red tribe seemingly seemed like it should have been an obvious thing, but a lot of layers coming out of that.
Yeah. Genuinely should have been the easiest vote.
But we'll get to why it isn't in a tribal time, because we're jumping right back to tribal one where we rejoin Gula 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 and their chaos sugar high rush into tribal council, where they come and Anthea rejoins. And Dan and Liv go, tell us, why'd you do it? What was the reason, and why were you who are you trying to block when she says, and she says, you know, just trying to be defensive. I really wanted to work for my alliance.
Mhm.
I wanted to make sure that Blue was there. It looks like the other tribe has been doing by original tribal lines, so I'm sticking with it. And another thing of note too, she didn't know the names here. So if you watch closely, you can see Derek mouth to Anthea Adele. That's how she gets on board with this. So because you can see her like just staring back most of the tribal.
I
Yeah.
totally missed
Yeah.
that.
So you can, because she's sitting in the front and Derek's in the back, and the whole time you just see Anthea just staring. So, and at one point you just Derek goes, and boom. So that's how she knows the name.
I did notice when Anthea came in, Will like immediately was just like, oh my gosh. And like he was just like, is she voting? Is she not? Like he was immediately like, oh my god, is she like so on edge, but like in a good way.
Oh, truly. Like I feel like everyone is like, they almost wanted to have a live tribal. It felt like they all needed to stand up and have a sugar rush walk. Like,
oh my god, live tribals.
Yeah, I mean, I would have watched it as a viewer. I would have loved to see what would have came of that. But you know, it's interesting because Mars gets the next question. He's encouraging everyone: don't just think about right now. Think about down the line. Think about merge. Do you really want to do this vote? What's going to be best for you?
Mm.
And it's a tribal where there is some good questions directed in Anthea's way, because you can see Mars in the background going, yes, go.
That's when Anthea and Mark are fighting a little bit. They're having a little tussle, and this is Mars with his soda. Just eating it up. Oh, it was so funny to watch. Like, truly, he was giving TV in that moment. Oh, we catch things.
Yeah,
The drama. The drama.
You are the drama. Newsflash.
Get that through. And then Will has a pretty profound moment where he's talking about, well, the former Red expressed interest in working with him, but the conditions were at their expense. Why would I vote out Blue? Why would I vote out one of my allies? It didn't feel like a compromise. And Blue's like, no. Our Red's like, no. We did not do that. We did not say that. That's not what we were talking about. So kind of have a little back and forth that way too within the people of of this way. And then at this point, Deli finally does the thing we all wanted them to do and asks, does
Yes.
Anthony have a vote?
Yeah.
And we find out, yes, she does. But we also find out she's not safe, so can be voted for.
Mhm.
So that is what we get into before voting. Sorry, the cats are getting fed. We're hearing in the background. Anything else in this tribal that stood out to you guys before we get to the vote?
I love that you confirm Deli. I always confirm details because, like, there's so many unknowns in this game, and like, you don't lose anything from asking. And absolutely, like, getting that clarity is like everything. That's literally your potential life, as you understand in the game.
But I was going to say, Charlene, is there an element of a lack of clarity could have worked in her favor if people didn't know Anthea didn't have a vote? Maybe that 2-2-2 or the 3-3 was still live.
But she was already communicating with, like, you know, as Ashley said, like Derek, you know, there's like a lot of non-verbal communication that happens at councils.
Hand out
anyway. Yeah. And when you've been working with people for a little while as well, you can kind of like read them. And she's a very good, like,
intuitive, like,
yeah, exactly.
She can see, like, okay.
Yeah, I feel like she'd be able to kind of communicate enough to them at least, even if it was one way, but it sounds like it was two-way.
As Deli noted in the comments, to confirm. I don't want to know.
Nor, truly. But the chaos of this vote all comes to be a 5-1-1.
Yeah.
We have the core four for Blue plus Mark voting for Deli. Anthea gets a vote from Deli. And Mars throws a vote for Mark, which I don't know if he's still thinking on the 2-2-2 split or what that was. Unsure.
So wild.
Because I think I had to rewatch. I'm like, wait, Mark got a vote? I didn't realize.
I had to rewatch that too because I didn't see where that came from.
I had a process of elimination. They never show it.
Yeah. Tell us in the comments.
Yeah, truly very curious. So the only thing of note, like, Will has a really good confessional line in his voting booth. I really liked that. It just felt like really, really poignant.
Oh.
That was, he gets like the confessional highlight post reel, and I don't know. I think good episode for him. As he gets to stay for the next tribal.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, how good is the tea from Derek where he said they'd spoken to Mars, Mark, and Adele, and they were given different names to avoid the 3-3 vote if Anthea didn't have a vote. So that was a backup plan of sorts.
I'd like to know if they were fully on board with that plan, though.
Apparently Mars was. Maybe, or he just didn't want to vote out either of the two names.
If that's the case, you guys played the three of them very well. Yeah. That's wild. Kudos to you guys. But very sad for Deli.
Wanted Deli to stay over Mark.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, I like that, Mars. Yeah, I did have a feeling that they weren't that easily convinced. Like, I'm like, Mars is a very smart man. You are a smart man too, Derek, but smart men can see through smart men.
they can bullshit a bullshitter is what I was told.
Yeah, that's it.
Maybe so they're writing the wall. Maybe. Things we'll hope to cover in the next episode, some of this fallout. See what the two red remaining feel. What Deli's gone. We'll cover that all next episode, surely. I mean, sad to see Deli go. Deli is a strong, well-rounded player. She obviously has good strategic chops. They just saw what they needed to do, unfortunately.
Honestly, so shocked that she gets like voted out pre-merge. Like, that is just wild to me. Like, I don't remember, because we filmed it like 2.5 years ago, but like the predictions podcast that we did, Deli, I don't remember where I placed you, but I just cannot even envision it being pre-merge. But thank God for battle bags.
The grasslands of gloom will welcome you, and we are excited to see if you can battle your way back
It
into
might
the
not be
game.
gloomy anymore.
Indeed.
With bright sunny Delhi, it will no longer be gloomy.
It'll just be the grasslands at that point. Then it'll be good. It'll be a neutral. It'll be
It'll just be a
lovely.
grassy picnic area by that point.
Okay, let's get to the second tribal council where we thought it'd be much easier, but it actually becomes way more dynamic than the first.
I love the like total swaps. One's supposed to be easy, becomes crazy. One's supposed to be crazy, becomes easy. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, nor it. Well, it all becomes because of the twist, but they don't get that until about
No.
2/3 of the way to the end of their tribal mat chats. Because they're all basically saying, red strong, mushy, I'm so sorry you're not red. But she's going for it. She's like, I have nothing to lose, I'm gonna keep pitching. Which I love that for you. Janine has an interesting comment that Rose threw her name out as she was leaving, which made her think a lot about her game. And she's like, Rose is entitled to that opinion, but maybe I need to think some on how I'm playing.
I'm just as a moderator speaking about entitled to opinions. Everyone here is also entitled to their opinion. However, I do request no spoilers for us, but also viewers at home. Please do not refer to potential content that might be featured in the next episodes. Thank you very much. It is over. There's just a couple of comments that have come through tonight.
Truly. No, we are a pure podcast, as in spoilers. We don't need it. We don't want it. We'll find out in the next episode. Truly.
Correct. It wasn't just you. I noticed something earlier. I was like, oh, maybe I do need to mention.
The admin had to come out. Don't worry.
Sorry. I totally ruined your trial as well. Back to your opinion, Ashley.
No, I was just talking about Janine kind of like just getting a little bit of a wake-up call from Rose, which I think really does help her make a decision here in this trial, because she realizes that she needs to step up a little bit. And I think when she finds out she has to vote within a red, that those words might come back and help her make this decision. It's truly. They talk like about what they want to be as future Red Strong 2 in this, but then Dan's like, all right, I'm bored. Let's throw you guys the twist. Hey, Will.
That
twist.
So good. Where Will,
I was literally jaw on the floor.
Truly. And it was so funny to me. Like, Will, you can take that little lovely necklace and give it to one person on the tribe. And like, he ran as quick as he did in that challenge to give it to Mushy. Like, no hesitations, no notes. Perfect. Well played.
I loved it. I didn't know who I was more obsessed with in that moment, Will or Mushy. Equal love there.
But we all knew it was going to happen. And we all were like, I think we were all calculating in our heads, who is going home? Because it is not obvious at all.
Not anymore.
I was genuinely screaming though when that happened. Like, that was one of the 2 times that I was mentioning earlier. That was one of the times I was like,
Oh, truly, where I'm like, I was gagged. We see Will's like, all right, adios later. We'll see you guys. Have fun. I gotta go drink some more soda.
Genuinely, he's like, I'm out. My work is done. I would love to see that screen grab of your faces when you all found out. If you could kindly send that to us, that would be very helpful. Thank you.
That'd be so good.
Yeah.
They don't. Dan and Liv say we're evil. You're not gonna get time to talk now after this.
So evil.
That was wild. That was wild.
Truly. And like, we just get right to the vote where Maddie has a lot of feelings in that voting confessional. She's not happy. She's not sure what she wants to do. At one point, she almost changes her vote, but doesn't.
Honestly, I would be so torn too. Like, I would just be like, ugh.
like, do I trust my gut or my heart or my head or my butt? I don't know. Like, what are you trusting at that point? Like,
And I think that's what it comes down to, though, right, Ashley? Like, it actually comes down to they're probably scrambling through their brains for any snippet, any clip of a conversation from the past couple of hours where there is a name
And
that
through
they,
the records.
and that's where all those conversations prior, even if it was a fake plan or whatever, like between Mushy and Maddie, or obviously Bree and Jordan must have had some sort of conversation where they had a similar name in mind for Maddie's name to come out. But that's probably all you can go off in that scenario. You've got nothing else other than ESPN, if you have it, to read between minds to go, where are we going to go? And the fact how the vote ended up is almost a miracle to some extent, that it still ended up in a tie without any chance for a conversation.
I actually just downloaded it. I can pull it up while you guys are just
if you can, I'm not connected that quickly. But truly just wild. We get Mushy going, well, I'm gonna go with the girls. Hopefully the girls are going with me. And yeah, that's about all we get in our voting confessionals, really. We don't get much. I really don't know. I'm still sitting there going, who's voting for who? And why?
genuinely.
It's truly unsure moment.
How they decided that, like, honestly.
Truly.
But the fact that they were able to make a tie and like 2 times in a row, mind-boggling.
Yeah, this cast said, you know what we love? Ties. This tribe in particular, but ties.
Yeah.
So we get the votes. Voting for Aston is Maddie, Mushy, Janine, and voting for Maddie is Aston, Jordan, and Bree, which makes sense from what we heard in this episode. The Aston, Jordan, Bree is a tight alliance, and Maddie and Mushy had worked on something, and Janine realized Aston's running the ship, and I need to make a move. So these votes make sense once you read them. Once you kind of figure it out in that moment. Bree said they think everyone's minds went to the Haley vote out, where they said Maddie would go next. So that was just like an automatic name in the trigger.
There you
go.
Oh, I just took our faces off. Sorry.
That's okay. We don't need them.
Oh, look at Aston.
Aston's face says everything. And look at Mushy's face. She's just so full of glee.
I'm ready.
Janine is like looking at Maddie like, what do we do?
And Bree looks like she's about to murder someone.
Bree's very dissatisfied.
She's saying this is shit.
And Jordan's just so shocked. Like, I just love each individual person's face. It's giving like, I don't know, during COVID, there was like this time, like, you know, the Zoom call where like someone's like going to the bathroom and like every individual person's face is just like a different version of shock. I feel like that's that.
It's truly, that's so good. Tag yourself. Who are you? What are you? And why are you? We'll post that in the comments later. You guys can tag yourself. So we get a revote, and everyone votes the same. Obviously, Aston and Maddie can't vote, but the other two vote for the same. So we hit ourselves in a deadlock. Now, I'm always screaming rocks, 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 because I love a rock as a viewer. As a player, I get it. Especially with
I kind of love rocks as a player too.
Honestly, play roulette. Like, the worst could happen.
I think I just don't take it seriously.
Oh, truly. Well,
so
how nice to go out without getting voted for. Anyway, maybe this is fair.
right.
If you want a perfect no vote record.
No, I mean, like, imagine like going home on rocks. Like, that's so
totally.
fun too.
I agree.
Yeah.
Truly, some might think it's less of a burn that way. So truly, it depends on what kind of player you are.
I mean, I always think Rox is the best thing after like my season, given like, you know, the Alex situation. So I feel like Rox has a special place in my heart. I'm
Well,
not sure that everyone on this tribe clearly agrees, though.
I
They're like, we're not doing Rox at all.
Well, it's funny because Aston gives this pitch to Mushy, I think is probably like the main person they're both pitching to,
Yeah.
it seems like.
The way Mushy immediately goes from zero
hero.
power with these people
To all
of the power. And this is where I think that like that social command that she has earlier with just some key individual people like Maddie, for example, like that's so coming into play now, right? Like
Yep.
pretty much they're like, well, we give it to you.
Absolutely. And I think it's huge when Maddie brings up, remember what we talked about? Obviously, I voted with you, we voted together. I'm showing you my agency is correct and you should listen to it. So
I loved that. Even though I'm so sorry, Aston, it was your expense, I felt like socially that was a really good move for her.
oh yeah. And
also an interesting comment from Bree there about obviously not going to Rocks, but she says she has her reasons, but ultimately they were pushing for Wishy to make this her move. So almost taking the heat out of them voting Aston out. And
yeah, right. It's like Red doesn't have to choose who they're voting against.
Yeah.
So smart in a way as well. And giving that power to her, like, makes total sense.
Truly. And it kind of just comes down where Mushy says, I'm not backing down, and Bree puts her foot down and says, I'm not going to Rocks. And everyone else says neither. So kind of just all of a sudden just flips so quickly on Aston, who's driving the bus. Now he's ran over.
It felt so painful though. Like honestly, watching that, like I was like, yeah, it was a lot. I felt bad.
And like when you think you're doing so well and like you think you have this agency, and then all of a sudden a twist takes a target out, and then
this game is crazy.
Your sub alliance you think has you doesn't have you, votes you out, you have to go to a tie, and then like your people you're working with aren't willing to go to Rocks for you. Like it's kind of just like a downfall. So like it's got to be really hard to be Aston in this moment. Like,
that would have been brutal, honestly. Like that's a lot of hits all at once. I was so ready for a case of beer. Honestly,
I don't blame you.
Honestly, did you have one when you watched the episode back? Because I feel like that's the redemption you needed in that moment. Because the worst part is you can't even get the case of beer because you have to go to Grasslands of Gloom, which is, you know, potentially amazing because it gives you that second chance to go back into the game and, you know, revenge against what had just happened to you. But also that beer would have been really nice.
The beer probably would be better than the aroma of poo the grassland will give you.
The kangaroo poo.
Kangaroo poo will get you through, I'm sure. I'm sure you're going to go to Grasslands of Gloom and you're going to try your heart out. I think you're going to want to work with people in that to try to get the best information to have whoever goes back in be the best player to try to advance forward. So as sad as it is, I think Aston's going to be a really good sport about this and really want to like go in and do it all in the Grasslands.
I think I said it earlier, like in this season, Aston is playing an exceptional game. He's playing hard and he knows what he wants to do differently in this game. He said something at the start of this episode about how he's starting to see that he's starting to play similarly to his first season. So I'm like, okay. Like, it's almost like, again, that thing I was saying with Rose, it's like you put these things out into the universe and then you start to like live it out. So I feel like this is going to be a course correct again, and he's going to go back and go, no, let's reset. And I feel like I'm like feeling good for him going into Grasslands of Gloom.
I mean, it's always a really hard game, right? Ultimately, it does come down to who you are as a person comes out in the game. Obviously, as a returnee, you might try and correct some wrongs that you might have done in previous games or whatnot. But ultimately, you do come down back to your center, wherever that is. So, you know, hopefully Aston has a good shot at the glass.
Yeah, I feel like I know it's so hard to say.
The grass.
I said it once right in this episode, and then the rest I didn't.
You hit your
I
quota.
feel like we will get more footage. I feel like,
We will.
Adele's going there, you're going there, Aston. So I feel like we're going to see a lot more. There'll be 4 people now at Grasslands of Gloom again. So it'll be interesting. Like last
So
time
many
we had
returners.
Oh, yeah.
3 returners and
So that's
Adele.
gonna be it's gonna be a little, interesting.
I don't know why it pains more when they're returnees. I feel more pain when it's returnees.
Truly.
Especially because 2 of them are from my season.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's
But
what
last
we
time-
want.
Yeah. Last time we went to Grasslands of Gloom, we had 4 people. It was the Battle Back Challenge. So let's see what that means.
Well, it's final 11 we're heading into. So predictions? What do we think?
For grasslands or generally?
Yeah, and then we can do general if we want to guess. Like, when do we think merge is coming?
I think it's a really interesting 4. Like, I think the 4 of them have quite different strengths. So, and who knows what that challenge might be. I reckon Belle's got a bit of a shot to come back. I mean, depending on what the challenge is, but
It depends on what the challenge is.
ultimately that's right.
Yeah, like if it's a puzzle, like Adele or Rose might be really good. If it's something physical, like Adele or Aston might be really good. But Hayley has this drive, and there's something about like when you have this drive and you've got something very innate in you that you're like, I've got to do it. Like that can just give you everything that you need to get through whatever it happens to be. Like if it's endurance or something like that,
We've got 2 old red, 2 old blue. We've got 3 returnees, 1 new. Oh.
This is sounding like something borrowed, something blue, something. That's what it was giving.
What are you trying to say, Charlene?
It's 3-1 actually, isn't it? It's 3 red. Deli, Aston, and Hayley.
Oh.
I just remember Hayley going F red, so I just assumed
she's blue now. She's blue now. That's right.
Yeah.
She said she changed alliances. You're right. You got me. I'm wrong. Truly. Oh, gosh, I'm really excited for next week. I think we're probably, if I had to guess, 1 episode away from merge. That's my prediction.
Although we do, presumably, I'm assuming, like, I don't think the trailers come out for the next episode, but we must have. Do you reckon it's a battle back for the next one? We've got 4. 1 will come back. That will bring us back to
12.
Oh, and that's probably close enough to merge, actually. Yeah.
So I think we could be close.
Yeah.
I'm really unsure, but we'll find out. Stay tuned. We will have a lot of content coming out within the week of that trailer. And then Friday, tune in at 8 p.m. Aussie time.
We don't have a trailer. Oh my gosh, the suspense.
So really watching our socials, like, comment, follow, subscribe, ask
You're
questions.
so good at that.
I
don't do those things.
We got to get the content going out there. Our socials be great. If you have questions for us for this week or next week, hit us up anytime. We'll happily.
Is there anything we haven't touched on though? Like, I mean, I feel like we've touched on a hell of a lot tonight. Like 2 hours in.
We're almost 2 hours in.
I feel like most of the episode's been covered. I feel like is there any questions from our comments or anything that people would like our opinions on before we close out?
I think that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
You speak, Charlene.
Who's getting eliminated time as it stands?
Oh, I don't know. That as shown in this episode with both tribes, you don't know. You don't know what you don't know.
I guess I have to assume like Mushy's just going to be on the table because she's always on the table.
Mushy. Yeah.
And
I feel like Queen Mushy's regained some power. She's getting some trust back.
Then I don't know, or does the Bree and Jordan trio become like the next in that 3? Do they look that way? I don't know. Like for the red tribe, blue, I fear it could be bad for Mark. Just looking at the
Yeah.
dynamics with the Melbourne
Now
boys plus the Blue.
Middle.
Yeah, I fear it could be bad.
No.
My predictions, but I could be wrong. I'm
No, I
happy to
think
be
that
wrong.
I think that's right, Ashley. I feel like
I'm
it's
sad
Mars.
about all
Mars,
these predictions. I don't like
Mars is
predictions. We're not doing predictions anymore.
T.
Get banned from the show.
everyone gets an idol and no one goes home in the next episode. There you go.
It's
Well,
now collective survivor. We all survive together.
truly. Not seeing any other questions, so we can end with picking up your favorite soda, your favorite pop, your favorite beverage of choice, and we'll do a cheers on the way out. Get a sugar high.
I just have water, unlike
Oh.
what people think I have. I mean, technically, this could be anything.
Anything. Cheers to you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Tune in at 8 p.m. on Friday for the new episode, and we'll be back with more coverage next Monday. Tune in for that time to be decided. Thanks for watching.
Bye, y'all.